This is my incredibly cool R36S console. I love playing retro games on it. It brings me positive emotions and nostalgia. Usually, such consoles use the arkos operating system. It's stable, functional and user-friendly. But I became curious to experiment and try something new. Today, we'll try installing the AmberELEC operating system on this R36S console. It's an open source firmware developed for anbernic consoles. It has a user-friendly interface, built-in RetroArch emulator support, and automatic update installation. And of course, I'll be doing the installation using my MacBook running macOS. The first thing to do is to buy an SD card, for example, a 32GB one. You also need to have administrator rights on your computer. Let's get started. The first thing to do is to format the USD card to exFAT format. You can do this using diskutil in the application section. I select the disk I need and format it. As you can see, the process is quite simple. The next step is to download the AmberELEC operating system archive for our R36S console. I've left the link to the official website in the description box. Now we need to unpack this archive. For this, you'll need an application like the Unarchiver or Keka. These are free macOS applications for working with archives. You can also find them through the links in the description box. Using one of these applications, I unpack the downloaded file. So we have a file with the AmberELEC firmware image. Excellent! Now open the terminal application. Here, you need to strictly follow the instructions. Your newly formatted SD card should be inserted into an SD card reader, which should be connected to your computer. In the terminal application window, type this command. By the way, you can find all the commands we'll use to install AmberELEC in the description box. You should see several connected disks in the list. Among them, you should find your SD card, which should be identified something like this. In my case, it's disk 3, but for you, it might be disk 2 or disk 5 or another number. Remember it. Now we need to unmount the SD card. To do this, type this command in terminal. Replace disk 3 with your disk number at the end. It's time to write the AmberELEC firmware image to SD card. For this, type part of the command in terminal. Now drag the unpacked AmberELEC firmware image file into the terminal window. This should automatically enter the path to the file. Now complete the command. Press Enter. Now enter your password and press Enter too. The process has started. Watch the process counter and wait for the process to finish. By the way, if you encounter one of these errors, try changing the command and enter it like this. You won't see a progress counter during the installation process, so just wait for some time until the installation is complete, about 5 minutes. Now, safely eject the SD card. Then I insert the SD card into the R36S console and turn it on. Now wait for some time for the firmware to install. AmberELEC has booted up. Great! Now I can insert the second SD card with games and reboot the console. As you can see, game sections have appeared. I can play a little. AmberELEC is an excellent firmware, and if you want to explore it in more detail, there is a link in the description box to the official website, where you'll find instructions and answers to questions. If this video was helpful for you, please like and subscribe to the channel. There is a lot of interesting content about consoles, games and graphic design coming out here.